My journey continues to getting every achievement in every Sonic game. This brings me to the much acclaimed Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Unlike the first game, the hardest achievement is not for beating the game in under an hour, but obtaining all the Chaos Emeralds. Dude! Tail, I can't control him! You'll see later on that these Chaos Emeralds are enraging. If you've watched my Sonic 1 video and thought to yourself, oh, maybe his skills increased from Sonic 1 to Sonic 2. Sorry to disappoint. With this channel, I love gaming and will get any achievement or trophy in any game franchise, so make sure you stick around. Now time for Sonic 2. Just like Sonic 1, Sonic 2 has 12 achievements. Unlike its predecessor, which required you to beat the game in under 45 minutes, this game gives you an entire hour. So the game starts you out in Emerald Hill, and it is so great because you finally have Spin Dash. I point this out because I was not aware Spin Dash wasn't in the first Sonic game until all of you pointed it out in my comment section. No, seriously, Sonic 2 is so much better than Sonic 1 already because of the Spin Dash alone. Clearing this stage gave me 2 out of the 12 achievements, one for beating this stage and another for beating it in under 35 seconds. Zone 2 is an absolute joke. Even Eggman, he's driving in a slow car and all you have to do is jump on top of him over and over again. Overall, the first stage is pretty great. Chemical Plant Zone 1 has an achievement for beating it in under 45 seconds. This seems like a challenging achievement at first if you don't know the map, but it's honestly really fun. We're almost out of time. This ain't good. Where's the end? Oh, achievement unlocked! Let's go! As a kid, Chemical Plant Zone 2 gave me absolute trauma, especially this part right here. But as a grown adult, these levels are a blast. The Eggman boss fight is pretty fun. You just have to avoid him while he drops chemicals on you. The side platforms drop out, so I just had to be careful there. Aquatica Zone 1 is where things start getting a little stupid. I'm running along trying to have a good time until one of these stupid drill faces pops out of the wall like Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah! This is a reoccurring theme throughout both of these stages. I don't care who you are, when you hear this, your anxiety is going through the roof. The boss fight's pretty unique. Eggman hits these towers and you have to jump on these arrows to get a hit on him. This is a great boss fight, I honestly love it. And then I got an achievement for making it to Casino Night. And Casino Night Zone is honestly a really good time. There's not really much to talk about, you kinda just bounce to the end. But let me tell you something, this stupid boss fight. What are the mechanics of this boss fight, you may ask? You have to launch yourself up in the air and hope that you land on Eggman. At least that's what I thought until I realized I was having a skill issue.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Turns out if you just run up the walls and jump, you can hit them. Up next is Hilltop Zone. This is so perfect. This is exactly what a Sonic level should be. It's got speed, it's got strategy, it's literally so fun. I'm not sure if this is the way I was supposed to go through here, but I made it. Not to mention, you could just spam Eggman in the boss fight. And it would be a crime if I didn't mention how beautiful the scenery is. And it's good that I like this zone so much, because now comes some zones that I absolutely hate. Where Hilltop Zone was fun and speedy, Mystic Cave went the opposite direction. It's slow, methodical, and boring. You have to constantly jump on these vines to open different gates, and honestly, it's a little confusing sometimes. Alright, I'm being a little harsh on Mystic Cave because I know it adds variety to the game, I'm just not a fan. On top of that, I don't really know how to do the boss fight without taking damage. I kinda just accept that I'm gonna keep losing rings and just spam the attack button. Now, according to the internet research I did, a lot of people are not a fan of Oil Ocean, but like, honestly, I'm a huge fan of this zone. It's like Hilltop, but with elevators. Even if you fall in the oil, the game doesn't punish you and take your rings, you just have to find a way out. If you don't like this zone, let me know, because I need to know why. Even the boss fight's really fun with Eggman shooting a fire cannon at you. But now that that fun is over, it's time for the worst zone in the game. Metropolis Zone is the worst. Like, I'm trying to think of a Sonic stage I hate more in Sonic 1, but no, Metropolis Zone is the cake winner. Not only is it slow, and I don't like going slow in a Sonic game typically, like there are times where it's acceptable, I understand that. But what is with these stupid robotic starfish? And what is with corkscrews on top of these starfish? Let me explain. What this level comes down to is there are these starfish with sharp objects on all 5 ends. They then explode and shoot off all 5 pieces of shrapnel. Those 5 shrapnel pieces explode in the direction they're facing, which really wouldn't be an issue if it wasn't for the stupid corkscrews on top of it. If you run left or right with these corkscrews, you'll go up or down, but there's always like 5 starfish waiting on each corkscrew. And what makes it even worse is Tails will run the opposite direction you are running, making the corkscrew go slower. I'm gonna go ahead and say that Tails is the absolute worst in this game, and we haven't even gotten to the Chaos Emeralds yet. Not to mention the stupid crab.
Britney, bitch.
To make things worse, this is the only zone in the game that has 3 stages, with the 3rd stage having the most corkscrews. And Eggman is hiding behind his drones in the boss fight. He's such a little coward. Now that Corkscrewopolis is done, it's time for a refreshing change of pace. The first plane mission with Tails is so fun. It's not complicated, just avoid the enemies and get to the end. Absolutely fantastic idea for a level, and I love this mechanic. This brings me to Wing Fortress, and by all metrics, I should hate this level, because although it has some goofy mechanics, it's honestly like a really fun level, with like the only real hard part being the platforms that disappear. This is a solid zone that doesn't drag on too long. Good things can't last, the boss fight is terrible. For lack of a better word, there's 3 spiky pots that are very inconsistent in their movement. You have to jump on them when the laser isn't hitting you, and then you can jump and hit the laser. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but not a fun one. After that, Sonic grabs onto Eggman's spaceship, showing tremendous strength by holding on while they enter the outer atmosphere. The final showdown begins against Mecha Sonic, not to be confused with Metal Sonic, by the way. Because tell me right now that this shouldn't be Metal Sonic and this should be Mecha Sonic, because this is wrong. It should be opposite. The only reason I knew the name of this individual character is because of this awesome channel, Sonic Theory. If you're into Sonic content, please go check out his channel. Mecha Sonic is my favorite boss fight in both Sonic games so far. He has a set move pattern where he'll go from the left to right of screen, and all you have to do is jump on him when he gets out of his attack. It's completely fun and fair. But then little hiding Eggman comes out for one last showdown. This boss fight, Eggman has 2 moves. He launches his arms and they come swinging full force at you. These are pretty hard to dodge. But the second move is that he targets you from the air, and when he slams down, you're able to get a hit off on him. Overall, it's a pretty easy boss fight. You just don't have any rings, which makes the fight more intense. Destroying this incredibly smart doctor gave me 2 achievements, one for beating the game and another for beating the game in under an hour with over 20 minutes to spare. Like I said at the beginning, the difficulty of getting every achievement in this game is not beating it in under an hour. Before we get to the hardest achievement, let me tell you how annoying these next 2 achievements are. For some stupid reason, the developers of this game decided to put online achievements in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. These aren't hard online achievements. One's for playing all the multiplayer maps, and the other's for winning 10 times. The problem is ever since they came out with the Origins collections, they decided to remove Sonic the Hedgehog 2 off the Xbox Marketplace. Do you know how hard it is to find somebody who has this version of the game? The only way I did it was to game share with my wife and force her to play it with me. I just don't know why there's online achievements in an Xbox 360 arcade port. But I digress, it's okay, we'll save our anger for the next achievement.
You developers need to get your facts straight!
The Chaos Emerald. Getting to the Chaos Emerald stage is not hard. You need to get 50 rings and go to any checkpoint. You can actually have all the Chaos Emeralds within the first 2 to 3 zones of the game. It's the actual stages that's the issue. I don't know what they were thinking. They were trying to do something unique with this, but gaming was not advanced enough at this time to implement something like this on a cartridge. You and Tails get launched into this 3D atmosphere, and you have to deal with these janky, touchy controls. The goal is to gain a certain amount of rings before you hit the checkpoint. The first stage just kind of teaches you how this zone works, and I got an achievement for getting 1 out of 7 emeralds. Chaos Emerald, our first one. This should be an achievement. There it is, baby. There's our first Chaos Emerald. Beautiful. Stage 2 is where things get wild. It introduces bombs. If you hit a bomb, you lose rings, and if you don't have enough rings when you get to a checkpoint, that's failure on that Chaos Emerald, and you have to go to the next checkpoint in the game. This wouldn't be an issue if they didn't give Tails the ability to grab rings and hit the bombs to lose the rings that you needed. This Chaos Emerald stage gets 1,000 times easier if they just took Tails out of it. Oh, did I mention Tails has a delay when you move? I move, he moves. How do you even get rings, man? This is impossible. Tails, move, dude! Tails, you gotta help me, okay? You have to help me. You can't sit there and be a dumpster. If you think I'm exaggerating, let's slow it down to a snail's pace so you can see how many frames come in before a bomb hits. Tails, you piece of dumpster garbage. Look, these only get worse and worse as the levels go on, but let me show you my absolute favorite where Tails literally just scoots over. He just literally scoots over for no reason. What are you doing, Tails? Look at the ratio here. Look, the bottom line is if the safe future didn't exist, I don't know how these are possible. How did people get these back in the day? Because as far as I could tell, these are impossible. But after grinding all 7 stages, I finally got the achievement. Oh, achievement unlocked, Chaos Master. This meant for the first time in the Sonic franchise, I could finally become Super Sonic. To do this, you just have to collect 50 rings and double tap A. Look at this game. I'm sorry. I don't... Oh, Super Sonic! Last achievement is for staying in Super Sonic for at least 1 minute, and all you have to do to stay in Super Sonic is keep collecting rings. Did the special stages ruin my experience of getting every achievement in this game? No. In a weird way, I feel like they added to it, even though they were annoying. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a comment, like, and subscribe, because there are a lot of achievement and trophy hunters out there, and I'm doing my best to survive.